Hi, I'm Clive Giovanetti and today I want to show you how to play PYK. PYK is a full information strategy game for 2 or 4 players. With 4 players, you will have 2 teams of 2 players. Within a team, each player will have a different role. One will be playing the warriors and the other one the ghosts, but they need to coordinate in order to secure a win. With 2 players, each player will just play the 2 roles and fight head to head. It takes about 60 minutes to play and 15 minutes to learn. Let's see how the game is set up. This is the initial setup. It is symmetric between the 2 teams. On each side you will find the leader at the center with 2 bows, 2 axes and 2 bows again. On the front line you will have 3 swords and 2 spears and shields. The ghost player will be playing with 6 ghosts. 2 corner ghosts, 2 ward ghosts and 2 sting ghosts. You will also find the leader's health points on the side of the board here. The goal of the game is to remove the enemy leader's health point. First one reaching 0 loses the game. To do that, teams take turns, and each turn is composed of 4 phases: move, dispel, combat, and haunting. It's not as long as it seems so, because only during the move phase do players actually play, so the 3 other phases are just conditions where you check if something happened. Let's go through them. During the move phase, both the warrior and the ghost players will make a move. The order in which they do that is up to them. It could be warriors first then ghosts, or ghosts then warriors. Depending on the experience of the players, PYK can be played at 3 levels of communication. Beginners will communicate freely. They will share all their thoughts and strategies with their teammate. It's a good way to pick up the game and build good synergies between the players. When they reach an intermediate level, they can only point 1 square each and agree on who should go first. Advanced players, on the other hand, are not allowed to communicate at all. They can only say if they want to go first or not. We'll first see what the warriors can do, then we'll cover the ghosts. The warrior player will move one of his warriors or his leader. To move a warrior, you pick one you want to move and slide him along the direction of one of the arrows. You can slide him as far as you want and stop wherever you want. You have a few restrictions on sliding though. You cannot move through the arms of an enemy ghost, so here you couldn't go further than that. And you cannot move past any other warrior or leader, like here. You are blocked. But you can move through your own ghosts freely. So to summarize, you cannot move through any other warrior or leader, nor can you go through an enemy ghost. But your own ghosts are transparent to you. You can move through them. There are 2 ways to rotate your warriors. Either when you moved your warrior, you made only 1 or 0 steps, like here, in which case you can rotate your warrior on the quarter of your choice. The second way to rotate your warriors is to end your movement on an edge square, in which case you can rotate your warrior on the quarter of your choice again. The leader is a bit different. He doesn't have any arrow around him and doesn't need to rotate. You just move him 1 step at a time. The ghosts work quite differently. You didn't expect ghosts to behave like living bodies, right? So, the ghosts will receive 3 action points. With 1 action point you can do one of 3 things. You can move a ghost 1 step, rotate a ghost, or activate one of your sting ghost abilities. Yes, ghosts have abilities. More on that later. Let's see first the first thing you can do with one of your action points. You can move a ghost 1 step. Look, like here, for 1 action point you could go here, or here for a 2nd action point. You have a few restrictions on movements though. You cannot move the body of any of your ghosts through the body of any other ghosts. Like here, you couldn't go there, because your bodies are colliding. But you only consider the body of your ghost when moving. You don't consider the arms. Only when you set up your ghost do you consider the arms. So here, you could move 1, 2 and set up there, because your bodies are not colliding. But you couldn't stop here, because this ghost is already in place and it has its arm here, and you cannot set up your arms. The second thing you can do with your action points is rotating. So you can pick any of your ghosts and rotate him on the angle of your choice. The third thing you can do is activate the Sting Ghost ability for 1 action point. The Sting Ghost ability is to push an ally warrior that it is in contact with 1 step in the direction of the arrow, like here, pushing this sword here. So let's say we have this configuration and it's yellow turn. The yellow ghost could be moving for 1 action point, rotating for a second, and pushing this sword here for his 3rd action point. The corner and wall ghosts also have abilities. The wall ghost can rotate for free. It doesn't cost you any action point to rotate a wall ghost. The corner ghost is a bit different. It's a passive ability. When you move a warrior that is sitting in the arms of a corner ghost, you can bring your corner ghost with you. When you do that, you need to respect both the warrior and the ghost movement restrictions. Note that whenever you rotate this warrior, you need to respect the angle at which the corner ghost is at. Like here, if you would be moving 1 step and rotate, you would bring your corner ghost with you in front of you. This also works if you end your movement on an edge square and rotate there. So if you would be moving here and rotate, because it's an edge square, you would bring your ghost with you and rotate. That works perfectly fine. So, to summarize, the ghost player has 3 action points. With 1 action point you can move a ghost, rotate a ghost, or activate the sting ghost ability. You can split your action points however you want between your ghosts. The ghosts have abilities. Sting ghost can push an ally warrior. You can do that 1 per turn for both of them. So wall ghost can rotate for free, and the corner ghost can be brought by the warrior when it is moving. After both the warrior and the ghost player have moved, we go to the dispel phase, where your leader could get rid of the enemy ghosts. So in the dispel phase, you just check if your leader is touching the body of any enemy ghosts. If so, you remove the corresponding pair of ghosts from the game and recover 1 HP per ghost killed that way. So here in that example, you're touching the body of this wall ghost. So you would remove this ghost from the game and recover 2 HP, 1 for each ghost. Of course, you could remove more than 2 ghosts in 1 turn if you're touching more than 1 type of ghost at the same time. So let's imagine during the move phase, the warrior player moved this leader here. During the dispel phase, we'll remove both the 2 corner ghosts and the 2 sting ghosts, and you would recover up to 4 HP for doing so. This is the only way to get rid of the enemy ghosts. Once your leader is done dispelling the enemy ghosts, if any, we move to the combat phase. It's here that your warriors are fighting. During combat, all your warriors will hit all available targets within their range with full strength. Then, all remaining enemy warriors will strike back. A warrior has a set of statistics printed on it. It has a strength, the number of crosses, a resistance, number of dots, and a range in every direction. It's the number of dashes and other arrows. If you have no dash under an arrow, it means that you can move in this direction, but you don't strike in it. So the sword is pretty well balanced, with a strength of 3, a resistance of 4, and a range of 1 in a lot of directions. The spear and shield has a strength of 2, a huge resistance of 6, and a decent range of 2 in these directions. The axe is a monster, with a strength of 5, a resistance of 5, but very weak arrows and ranges. It's the contrary for the bow, which is very weak, with a strength of 2 and a resistance of 3, but that it has a huge range of 4 in front of him and 3 diagonally. A warrior is killed if it is hit by a total strength that matches or overcomes its resistance. So for example here, this yellow sword is hitting the blue one for a strength of 3, but the blue sword has a resistance of 4, so nothing would happen. Then blue sword would hit back for a strength of 3 and a resistance of 4. Again, nothing. But if you had the spear here, you would now hit the blue sword for total strength of 5, which is more than 4, so you would kill it. If you manage to hit the enemy leader, you would remove as many health points as the total strength you're striking him with. So for example here, you're hitting him with a total strength of 2, so I would remove 2 health points. Remember that removing all the enemy leader's health points is the goal of the game. I want to mention that you are really striking all available targets with full strength. So here, this yellow sword would hit both this one and this one for total strength of 3. So if you had this configuration, you would hit this sword for strength of 5 and this one for strength of 5. You're not splitting the strength between your targets. Let's see now how you can defend yourself. You cannot strike someone that is behind an enemy leader or warrior. So for example here, this leader should be in range of this bow, but since it has an enemy warrior in between them, it is actually protected. But you can shoot through your own warriors freely. So here, even if you have this warrior in between them, this spear is still striking this sword. But the best protection in this game are the ghosts. You cannot strike through the arms of an enemy ghost. So here, for example, this sword is totally protected both from this sword, this spear, or this bow. But you can strike through your own ghost freely. So here, this sword would hit this one for strength of 3. And if you had a little bit of help, you could even hit him for total strength of 5. So to summarize, your ghosts are completely transparent for you. You can move through them and you can shoot through them. But the enemy ghosts are like walls. You cannot move, nor can you strike through them. This is why the coordination between the ghost and the warrior player is really important. Once you're done with the thrill of combat, we move to the hounding phase, where your leader might be losing health points due to the haunting spirit of the warriors you just killed. Boo. So what does that mean? It means that if you killed at least one enemy warrior during your turn, at the haunting phase, you will take one of your leader's health points and put it on the dead warrior square. So for example, here during combat, you would kill this sword. Then at the haunting phase, you would take one of your leader's health points and put it here. If you want that health point back, on a future turn, you will need to take any one of your warrior or leader and go take it. If an enemy warrior or leader stops on it, it also goes back to you. The twist is that each team can only have one health point on the board at any time. So if you were to move here and kill this warrior here before taking that health point back, at the haunting phase, you will need to take a new one, put it there, and lose this one, because you can only have one on the board at any time. I have 3 things I want to mention. The first one is that only the team that is taking his turn goes through the haunting phase. So, for example, here, it's yellow turn at the combat phase. Yellow would hit first and kill that sword for total strength of 4. You would also hit the sword for total strength of 2, but it's not enough to kill it. Then, blue would hit back, strength of 3 and a resistance of 3. The bow is dead. On the haunting phase, it's the yellow haunting phase, so yellow would take one of his health points and put it here. But blue won't do it because it's not their turn. The second thing I want to mention is that you can only lose one health point at once due to haunting. So for example, here in this configuration, you would kill both this sword and this one at the same time. And at the haunting phase, the ghost player would choose where to put the health point between these 2 squares. And the last thing I want to mention is that you don't consider the haunting phase if your leader has only 1 health point. If your leader has only 1 health point left, ignore the haunting phase. Let's see an in-game example. It's a game of advanced players, so teammates are not allowed to communicate but to say who should go first. It's yellow's turn, but blue is really hard to attack. After a bit of thinking, the ghost yellow player sees an opportunity and says, I want to go first. So he's gonna use this ghost ability, which is to rotate for free, and move him 1 step for 1 action point. With his second action point, he's gonna move this one here, and with his third and last action point, he's gonna use this Sting Ghost ability to push this sword 1 step ahead. After this move, the yellow warrior player is very puzzled, because obviously this sword is gonna die at the next combat phase, and the king is not protected at all from the axe moving here. But after a bit more consideration, he sees what his teammate is up to, and he's gonna move his leader 1 step ahead. Now to the dispel phase, since this leader is touching this ward ghost, you remove both ward ghosts from the game. And you recover 2 health points for doing so. And now the combat looks way different. It's yellow turn, so yellow is gonna hit first. This sword is hit for a total of 5. It's dead. This one for a total of 5. And this bow is hit for total strength of 4. Out of the way. Blue will then hit back, but nothing is hitting with enough strength to kill anybody. Then we go to the haunting phase, and the ghost player chooses to put the health point here. That was a great team move, because they killed 3 different warriors and lost only 1 health point due to that. And this wall ghost was very cleverly placed, because it's protecting the leader both from the spear and from the movement of the enemy axe. So the ghost player predicted that the warrior player would move there and understand what he was thinking, and he moved this ghost ahead of time. So this is really what PYK is about. It's finding ways to attack the enemy formation and hope that your teammate will understand what you're up to and what's your plan. So, well done, ghost player. Thanks, Matt. High five. Thank you for watching. I hope everything was clear, but if not, please leave your questions to the comment section below. I will make sure to answer them. In the video description, you will find both a link to the rulebook and another one to the online version of the game, so you can try it out with your friends. Thank you again, and until next time, farewell.